I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I just want God
about
to
your
bring
wife?
him. I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just.
Because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce.
Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Currently, there's an interview that is going viral between Cam Newton and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Now, if you're unfamiliar with who Cam Newton is, he is a former NFL quarterback, and he currently has a popular podcast going. And across from him is Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. I actually currently heard about her, and she either has her doctor's degree in psychology or she's a psychiatrist is what I'm assuming. But they have a very well-needed discussion, I feel like, that we need to have in our community. She's breaking down the fact that he has 8 kids by 3 different women, and he really doesn't see that as like a broken home situation or any problems in regards to that. And she's breaking down the problems that can cause and may even cause in the future in regards to his children. So it's a very good topic. Men also reacted to this and women, so I'm going to be including that as well. So go ahead and watch and I'll be back.
I understand a lot of people see my situation and not think that I'm not high functioning.
What situation?
See my situation? That's a very vague question, and it's for you
What
to
situation are you referring to that they're looking at and thinking is not high functioning?
Just my life.
Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
My life.
See, don't deflect. Let's stay here. Your life entirely, or your life in relationships?
Both, really.
And they think that you're low functioning.
No, I don't.
You just said people see your life and think you're not high functioning. The opposite of that would be low functioning.
No. Okay, so here you go. You're trying to take my intentions away from this. Can I correct it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Or can I give you more?
Yes, more information. Heck yeah.
So, I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
I didn't do my research. I thought it was 4, but 8. Okay.
No, baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. Now.
By multiple women? What's the intent?
I just want God
about
to
your
bring
wife?
him. I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just.
Because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Bryant, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time. You're being very action-based.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, and disclaimer, the kids are innocent. They are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies, because I can't wait to be a mom, and I love the kids, period. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Just tell me when I can solve.
Yeah, almost. That's completely unfair and that's selfish. And so, yes, you're taking your time in this department, but you're not taking your time in this department, which means you're compartmentalizing. And compartmentalizing never works. Compartmentalizing hurts everybody involved. Everybody who's in this box and that box and this box and that box and this box. And then here you go over here trying to figure out what box you're going to feed or entertain or do. Then you're looking outside to figure out who's your next victim to put in the box. It's unhealthy. And it's a huge dysfunction within our Black community that I truly believe personally, statistically, mental health wise, and community wise, that Black men would stop.
Black men will what?
Stop doing that, that they would stop that dysfunctional behavior of compartmentalizing and creating houses, not homes, and then finally a home with the wife. And then you have all these other houses that are homeless. But you over here, at some point when you do get a wife, if you do, I'm saying if that's what you want, you will. You'll get whatever you want. You're trying to create a home. Totally dysfunctional and extremely, that's the epitome of selfish. Epitome of selfish. I'm done. You can go for it.
Okay, say less. All right, so what identifies as a broken home?
What you have going on with these, whoever you're not in the house with is a broken home. It's called a blended family. It's called a blended family.
That means?
That the family is blended. So blended
So
means,
blended means broken?
Yeah.
Okay. So the guy that you were entertaining, you would go as low as 26.
That I would entertain?
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
And as high as what age?
Whatever man that doesn't have kids.
As high as?
Whoever doesn't have kids, whatever age he is with no kids.
I just.
No, that's the age. I'm saying I don't have an age range as far as how old if he has no kids.
So your
he's a candidate.
non-negotiable is a person who does not have children.
My non-negotiable is a person with kids. But yes, I get how you're saying it, yes.
So you cannot date a person. You cannot be with a person.
I can, but I'm choosing not to.
So.
I can be with anyone, but I'm choosing not to.
You're.
I gotta correct it. It's my narrative, Cam.
You're
I
like
can,
jumping in, jumping out. It's either.
Cam, no, it's not I can't. There's no such thing. I can date whoever I want. I am definitely well equipped to do so.
Okay.
So I'm not going to allow that word to be something that fits what I can't do. I'm well equipped to date anybody.
Yeah.
My preference,
Yes.
because there's nothing wrong with a lot of men who have kids. So I don't want to put that narrative out there.
Yes.
My personal preference is I would not choose to date a man with kids.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're dating a man with kids. Just a scenario.
Oh, okay, got it. Yes.
You're dating a man with kids.
Yes.
So you've identified that that's a broken home from the jump. With your verbiage of blended family means broken.
I've identified that I'm dating a broken man who is creating who he is, because we could teach what we know, we create who we are. And so broken people create brokenness, whether it's through a child, whether it's through a relationship, whether it's through themselves. It doesn't have to be a beautiful baby, but you're creating brokenness. And broken people can come from married households. I'm not saying that a two-parent household can't create the result of a child who then has brokenness and creates broken blended families everywhere. I'm not negating that.
That's not my point.
No, I know, I'm making that point.
But
yes.
But my point.
My answer is I not only identified that those homes are houses without a home because he's not in them,
Yeah.
but also that he's a broken man.
But you're going to be with a broken man.
No, I won't. I just said I wouldn't be with a man. I wouldn't be with a broken man who has multiple kids. I will take
No, not multiple. I'm
well,
talking
a kid. It doesn't matter.
So you're not going to date a man with children.
No, but let me clear this up because you said I won't date a broken man. That's not what I said.
No, I said, are you, listen to what I'm saying.
I heard you.
Doc.
Let me answer it. Hold on. We all have a level of brokenness. So will I date a broken man? Yes. Am I going to date a certain type of brokenness? No.
Of course you're not.
And that type of brokenness is a man who has kids outside of me isn't something that's conducive for what I want forever.
But will you date him?
No.
So goes to my point. I'm trying to ask a question. You have two different men right here. One man who has...
I will not date a man with kids.
Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Yes.
But I must defend this situation. I have 8 children. And
8 beautiful babies.
I will not, no baby mother of mine could ever say that she's a single mother, because single mother insinuates that she has no help. So for me in my situation, life be lifing. That's a common.
Yeah, it does. I agree.
And my situation is a product of life happening. So,
and none of us are exempt from it.
of course.
Right.
So we have preferences.
100%.
We have things that we could say, okay, I would love to do this.
Right.
I'm raised in a church. So my father would always direct us to say, hey, be this, be that, be that, be this.
Right.
But I can also tell my father this, your reality is not my reality.
100%.
You walking into 7-Eleven is different than your son walking into 7-Eleven.
I'm sorry.
Makes sense to you. So I can agree with you, and we can agree to disagree, that I'm not creating broken homes. I'm doing the best with the situation that I was given and am given. So hands-on father, absolutely. I don't subscribe to just bringing fatherless children or motherless children into this world. I have an unbelievable relationship with the mothers of my children. And it's healthy co-parenting that we show the children real love, real communication, real orders of operations. And I think that's key, because even though we have this unspoken societal pressure to do this and be this, but that's just not, that's a unicorn that you're waiting for. Because if I'm sitting up here telling you like, yo, I have aspirations to have this, but my experiences have shown me that that person really doesn't exist. So when I'm asking or I'm asked questions of, is the expectations unrealistic?
Right.
Because my reality has garnered unbelievable connections with women around the world. Not in Africa. I haven't been in Africa, right? But at the same time, I've been able to make the best of my situation. And I can't say that that situation ever resulted into a broken home.
Got it. So this is my thing. You can label it whatever your her ego needs it to be labeled, so that you feel good about your choices. But at the end of the day, a family consists of a dynamic, and that dynamic consists of 2 parents and a child. And when you start to create that multiple times, that's called a blended family. And when there's somebody missing from the home, but they are the school daddy, meaning I pick them up or drop them off to school, or they are the sports mother or father, I come to the games, but they're not the, I wake up and go to sleep with my kids. That household now is broken by the, by the family dynamic. That does not mean,
You're
Cam.
not describing me.
That does not mean, Cam, that you are not a dynamic father. That does not mean that you don't have a great relationship with him. I'm talking about the political construct of a family.
Societal construct, political construct.
If you want to, that's what I'm saying. If you want to call it that, that's fine. But listen.
Those things that you
whatever we label it doesn't change our decisions, though.
That's what I'm trying to, that's what you don't understand.
So all of your baby mamas live in one house?
No, they do not. But my children stay with me.
So then it's still a broken household. The mothers aren't in your home. So it doesn't make a difference.
But that's making the best of the situation.
Right. And listen, and let me say this. That part, I agree with. That part, I admire in you.
Okay.
That part, I think is amazing.
Right.
Cam, look at me. That part, I say thank you for being a man who's vertical, who stood up and dealt with his decisions, whether it was decisions you liked or you didn't, or you planned or you didn't, and you did what you had to do. That's called a man, baby. So thank you for being a man.
Yes, ma'am.
And doing your thing. Seriously. with the best that you have. I think, no, sir, I think that's amazing.
Right.
And I say this, follow up, not to negate everything I just said, because I truly believe that and feel that. And I love that you did that. You didn't leave them fatherless. My father didn't leave me fatherless. It changed my life because he didn't leave me fatherless. I used to sit with him randomly and say, Daddy, thank you. For what? For not making me a fatherless little girl. Because I ain't out here desperate. And I got a daddy I can come home and nest in. I got a daddy I can come home who's a gangster, a street dude. I can make a phone call and you there.
It's done.
And you there. So I ain't looking for no street, excuse my language, nigga, to save me. I got my savior. I'm good. And the street dude to save me may crucify me. I'm good. Daddy ain't gonna crucify me. See, there's a difference. So with you, I'm saying thank you, because my father has 6 of us by 5 different women, but he was a father. And so when you say, Doc, but I'm a daddy, don't negate that. I hear you more than you believe me hear you, because I had a daddy who was a father. And he wasn't in the house with all of us, but from a woman who was a little girl who had the best daddy I've seen a girl have straight up to this day. I'm not saying you ain't, but that's my daddy. I wasn't in the house with him. So the things that whoever he was in the house with, that environment is different from me coming over and seeing it. Now, for your babies, they all live with you. Their environment is different from when they go with mommy and mommy has whoever's in that house. So the roles have just switched, but it still makes, not the kids, hear me out, it still makes the household dynamic is a blended broken household. It doesn't mean that your babies have to grow up broken. This is what I want to be clear on. It doesn't mean that you as a father can change their life. Listen, I beat the odds of being a baby mama because I had a daddy that wasn't in the house, but he was in my life. He was in my ear. He was in my ass about decisions. So this is why I'm saying the household, baby, is still broken, but it doesn't mean your kids have to be. But it's about coming into awareness of what really is. And like my father knew, he had blended families, broken homes, but he tried to overcompensate, and he did in every way he could by being a daddy. So that's all I'm saying is we can label it what we want, but the reality is this is what a blended family looks like, unless you're telling me it's polyamorous, and you're not. This is what a broken household looks like. Now, let me go further. Do broken households make for good people? You damn right. I'm not a statistic. I ain't perfect. I work through my stuff. I come from the inner city of the hood. I'm a product of teenage parents, a dope dealer and an addict who is now sober and killing it. My mama's a VP of my company, runs everything, got her own business, and I'm a doctor. So people like me come from situations like that. So I'm always advocate for it, but I'm always keep it real about what it is. Because in order for us to take it and heal it and do something with it, we got to call a damn duck a duck so we know where to put it, what to feed it, how to do it, and what it needs. We can't be in this society as black people and want to give things different words so that it makes us feel better about our decision. The decision is made. It is a broken home. It is a blended family. And now what are we going to do with these beautiful babies? So that your son, you got boys? I'm guessing out of 8, you got to have some boys. So that your boys make different and better decisions than daddy did. Not that you didn't do the best of what you had, but so your boys can say, Daddy, I admire you, but I did it different.
Y'all ever be watching an interview and it's clear that one person is extremely intelligent and the other person is trying to sound intelligent? That's what I got from that Cam Newton interview with that doctor lady. I'm sorry, I forgot her name. I'm going to look it up because she is amazing, stunning, okay? If you ask me, I mean, killed him with kindness, those words cut deep. And I'm actually a fan of Cam Newton, but after seeing that interview, it made him look bad, baby. I mean, bad. He couldn't keep up. It was clear his ego was hurt. He wasn't listening to what she was saying. She broke it down so eloquently. The poor lady had to appease his ego just to keep the conversation going. Sir, yes, you have created broken homes. It doesn't matter how much money you make. You are a broken person and you live in fear. Why is everybody so fearful of getting a divorce? It's a divorce. Sometimes stuff don't work out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people that's what I'm saying. Shira really ate with this. Sometimes we put ourselves on earth and we just be suffering. We make ourselves suffer. Nothing in life is ever that deep. We're on a floating rock. Get married, get divorced, don't get married, don't get divorced. Like, it's literally like we make our issues so, like, our mind is so warped. It's crazy. This lady's sitting here letting you know that it doesn't matter how much money you make, sir. Those children, some of them are going to be lacking emotionally, especially the ones that you're not in the home with. You want to talk about how you have a glowing reputation with your baby mama, and somebody said in the comments, didn't you just take back one of the baby mama's trucks or one of the cars? It's not glowing. It can't be glowing. 3 different women, 3 different personalities, 8 children, and you're one man? Hell, I think at the daycare, it needs to be one parent, one adult to 6 kids, 7 kids. Like, sir, you created broken homes and you don't want to take accountability for that because your ego is broken and it's hurt. That's all it was. I mean, every time she was clocking him, I was like, damn. And she was doing it in a way that wasn't so nasty or negative or rude. She said, I'm saying all this with love. And I think he may have been upset because he feels like just because he makes a lot of money and he has a lot of accolades and fame that a woman should just want to be with him. But her standard is no kids. It doesn't matter how much money you have. She just said she won't date a man with kids. You know, she said, I'm going to date a 26-year-old with no kid versus dating a 40-year-old millionaire with 8 kids. I'm not going to do that. Like, that is her standard, and she's allowed to have that standard. He just could not stand it, y'all. That man was fuming. He was really mad because he couldn't keep up with the conversation. She said the conversation was going over his dreads. She's like, bring it back, because you're taking it so personal, and we're having a general conversation, and you inserted yourself as the experiment. So now, yeah, we're going to talk about the fact that you have 8 kids and you think that you're a high value man, and you're not. Doesn't take away for all that you're doing for the community. Doesn't take away that you're probably a decent human being. At the end of the day, those kids are going to be lacking in something. And I feel like, especially with black men, like especially famous black men, they really think that this money is what makes them a good, decent father. And it doesn't. Like, what are you providing for these children emotionally, especially for the ones that are not living in your house? Because he just had a baby and then you talk about you want more. Why is it such a badge of honor for these black men? Like, they just feel like they need to be popping out kids. Like, it's not a badge of honor, baby. You're not doing nothing special or more different than another couple having a kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not to sound mean or anything like that, but yeah, it made me want to watch just to hear what she had to say. I just felt like she was so well spoken. She got her points across. She wasn't rude, disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? She stood on her business and how she felt. And yeah, this woman seems like she has a good head on her shoulders and knows exactly what she's talking about. And so, yeah, for him, I just feel like he was so caught up in the fact, like, what do you mean I'm not high value? What do you mean X, Y, and Z? What she explained how she meant, sir. How is everybody understanding it? Everybody in the comments understanding exactly what this lady says. And everybody but him. He's smoking on that damn cigarette, pissed, because he really want to call this lady, but he know he can't do that. So, yeah, Cam, and not even just him. All these men out here, regular men, just because you paying for something don't make you a good daddy. It doesn't take away from the fact that they're in a broken home. It doesn't take away from the fact that they're going to lack something emotionally, and that you probably need to do better before you have more kids into this world. And for them, 3 baby mamas ain't that big of a deal. What you mean? There's only 3 baby mamas. Like, that's a lot. I'm sorry. That's a lot. Hell, even 2 is a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, dealing with 2 different schedules, it's just crazy to me. Just crazy to me. There is no fear of being a bad parent, though. Nobody ever has a fear of being a bad parent. Nobody cares about that. But you have a fear of commitment. You have a fear of being married. You have a fear of committing your life to somebody. But this person having your kid and potentially them up or making terrible choices with your child, your seed, that doesn't scare you?
I'm gonna be honest, it's not a hard concept to understand that if you as a man, you have a child with someone, or you have 8 kids with 3 or 4 different baby mamas, and then you still want to get married to someone that is not one of the parents to your child, it is not hard to understand that yes, that is technically a broken home. It's not hard. We as men talk about how important it is that kids have their fathers in their life, but then when we talk about a broken home, all of a sudden we're like, no, it's not a broken home because I provide for my kids financially, provide for my baby mamas, I give my baby mamas homes, I give my baby mamas money. As we all know, there is so much more to being a father than just providing shelter, providing finances, and being there for your kids some of the time. First off, if you have 8 kids by different women, there's no way you can be there for all those kids equally. You will spread yourself thin. You will have to miss some occasions, especially during graduation season. What about those nights where you want to be with dad because you had a bad dream? What about those nights where you want to come home for school or wait for dad to come home and tell him how great your dad was, but your child can't do that because dad's with his other family? I understand I'm not a father. I understand that I'm not a parent, but I understand where that therapist was coming from, and she was more than right. There's so many things, little microscopic things that you can miss if you have a bunch of different kids by a bunch of different women that your money, your resources will never be able to fix within that child.
This interview, chef's kiss. Being able to see Cam Newton meet a woman who he can't overtalk, he can't manipulate the conversation. See, people like Cam Newton, they like talking to people who yes men, or somebody who's going to allow them to say whatever they want to, not call them on their BS and manipulate the conversation. He couldn't do that with this lady. He couldn't do that with her. There's levels to women. You got women you can play with, and then you got women that you can't play with. This woman interviewing him is a woman that you can't play with. Men like Cam Newton hate this type of woman, right? Because men like Cam Newton like to say a lot, but don't be saying nothing. But they love women who won't call them out on the fact that they're not saying nothing. Because they like to be the one to control the conversation and manipulate the conversation, and they can't do that with this type of woman. He started the conversation off himself, saying that a lot of people see his situation and think that he's not high functioning. And then when she repeated back to him about him not being a high functional man, he tried to change up what he said. No, you said it correctly. A lot of people do not view you as a high functioning man because you're not. You're a broken man, as she went to say as the conversation went on. No high functioning man is going around creating a bunch of broken homes with a bunch of different women. That's not what high functioning men do. That's what low functioning men do. That's what selfish men do. That's what low value men do. It's funny how y'all had so much to say about Simone Biles' husband embarrassing her, but y'all don't never seem to have the same energy for the men who truly be out here embarrassing the women that they be with. That Jazzy girl was out here singing this man's praises. Every chance she gets, she's somewhere bigging him up and praising him. But even in a conversation about having more kids, this man don't even acknowledge her. He don't even say that the woman he with that he want more kids with. He talking about that God can kind of bring it to him somehow. Right? As if that's basically, it doesn't matter what woman these next few kids come from. He just know he want more children. Cam Newton don't do nothing but talk in circles. He just keeps saying a whole bunch of stuff and never actually making a point. When he had the interview with Brittany Renner and she questioned him about marriage, he BS'd her on the answer. This lady, when she asked him about marriage, she didn't allow him to BS her about the answer because she already knew the answer. The answer is simply, you're a selfish man. It's all about what you want. Yeah, you are taking your time when it comes to marriage because you're going to do it on your time when you want to do it. However, when it comes to you making these broken homes, you don't ever consider what it does to the children. And that is a selfish act. There's no way to twist and turn it any other way. It is a selfish act as a man for you to be sleeping with these women unprotected and continuing to have kids. And you cannot be in every one of those households and you are intentionally doing it. It is very selfish, right? Sitting up and compartmentalizing what's important to you and excluding what should be important to you based off of the best interest of your kids, right? He's a very low vibrational man. And it's unfortunate that a lot of these low vibrational men get a pass because they got money. And a lot of women will look over their character flaws because they got money. And this is the reason why they continue to act the way they do, because they know they get a pass.
I was gonna write a long post on Instagram because I usually do, but I don't feel like I'd rather just talk. So I am so happy that Cam Newton had that interview with that doctor. I don't know what type of doctor she was, what her practice, whatever. But I'm so happy that he had a conversation with her. The part that made me the most happy is the fact that she told him the whole truth. Respectfully, but she told him the whole truth. Because Cam Newton was like, look, you know, people think I'm low functioning, however, you know, he describes that, because I'm not married yet, but I got, you know, 8 kids by 3 baby mamas. I want 3 more. And she asked him, like, well, how many more baby mamas you want? He like, I just want some kids. I just want God to give them to me, whatever, right? But like most men, he's very unaware of the effect that this has on his children. You know, because he said, you know, I'm taking my time. I'm just kind of taking my time trying to make the right choice. She was like, no, you're very much active. Not only are you active, but it's a very selfish act. Because he thinks, because listen, just like a lot of men, I got the money, I take care of my kids. And with him being in a great position, being an ex-football player, he got the money to do it. He take care of all his kids, probably even a baby mama, all that type of stuff. And so he thinks, listen, that's enough. I take care of my kids. Everything is squared away. But you don't realize, which a lot of men do not realize, and I'm not beating up on men, because if you know me, I'm a men's advocate, also a men's coach, and a men's consultant. But what most men don't realize is that it affects the children very much. It doesn't matter if they have all the clothes that they need, if they have a great network, if they go to all the best schools, if they're connected to all the famous friends' children, all of this type of stuff. What they need is their daddy, their father, living in the house with them. Why? Because a father does so much. All the time, we see men, and a lot of us men, our fathers have been in the same predicament. You know, they think just having the money is enough. As long as you are taken care of financially, or as long as I'm in your life, even if I'm in and out of your life, or it's not just constant, I'm there, so I'm parenting you. I'm a good dad. Or as long as I'm taking care of things financially, everything is squared away, but that's not the truth. Your child needs you in the home. Why? Because everything is not supposed to just fall on the mother. There's so much for the man to do. As a father, you need to be imparting identity into your children so they have a healthy self-esteem. You need to be there to discipline them. Also, nurture them at times. Also, they want your wisdom. They want your advice. They want to be around you. Your children want to glean from you. They want to be like you in ways. They want to know that anytime I needed my daddy, I could just go upstairs and he was there. I could just go to the room or whatever, but my daddy was always around. When I had a nightmare, I could run into my father's arms. When I was troubled, when I needed advice, when I needed wisdom, I could run to my father. When the kid is sick or when the kid is troubled, usually it's only the mother in the house with the kid. So now what happens? Now the mother is sick trying to take care of the kid while the kid is sick, and now she got to make sure the kid gets to school, make sure she get to work, make sure all of these things are taken care of, when daddy should have been there to aid and assist in taking care of his child, not just the weekend or this semester or this year or this summer, but the day to day, the everyday of their lives. And so I'm so happy that she had this conversation with him, because it annoys me how oftentimes on the internet we see these conversations happening between famous people or people that's big on social media or whatever, and nobody really corrects those notions in interviews and different things like that.
Cam Newton didn't hear or receive anything that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant said after she clocked his teeth and told him he was a broken man willingly creating broken homes. And if you ask me, he was a little rude, but she kept it together and kept it very professional. And I just feel like those are the type of men that you have to watch out for. Because not you said you have 8 children and you want more. You didn't say, I want to create a family. You said, I want more children running around this. And then for me, it was him trying to not understand what it means to have a broken home. Like, I know you didn't think that because you were able to financially be there for your child, that makes it not a broken home. Like, he really was trying to not understand what she said about him willingly going around creating broken homes or planning to create more broken homes. He's like, well, what makes the home broken? Sir, that's common sense. But I want to applaud her for keeping you, because he low-key tried to belittle her when asking her would she date a man with no kids and trying to make it seem like, oh, in today's society, you're not going to find a man with no children. But it's men like that who are successful that have a mindset.
Men like Cam Newton wouldn't be able to do what he does if women didn't allow it. It always goes back to what we as women allow. I know Cam Newton is a celebrity, so in the celebrity world, it is a different world. But it's still men and women, and there's still standards. And unfortunately, right, we as women get too caught up in the status and the money and the fame that we lose all of our morals. That man said on that interview and made every excuse and made no sense to me as to why he's not married. All I heard was, I don't have to marry any woman. They're going to still give me children that I want. He wants more children. They're going to still take care of me. They're going to still have smacks with me. They're going to do what I want. Why would I marry them? You had a woman who talked all about a man got to marry me. A man got to make sure he puts a ring on it before I have a child with him. And it still didn't happen. So it's really like, girl, that's laughable. You talked all that stuff and all I had to do was come to you with a couple dollars and present this lifestyle to you, and all the moral standards go out the door. Creating broken homes is a problem. And unfortunately, money is the root to it all. That money will make us as women forget what we stand on and what we believe. A man is a man. And if, again, as always, if we as women stop doing what we, do, men couldn't do it. We could change the game, ladies. For any man, the bottom of the bottom man, the average man, the high earning man, the high value man, if we said no, we were a monolith in this area, we're not doing it. Unless you give me a ring, it's not happening. No, ma'am. But we see the difference in the black community, in the YT community, and the Asian community. It's different. We have to set the standard so that way no man can sit up there and talk about how he just want to have kids with whoever guy drops the kids, decides to be with. That interview annoyed me so bad because I'm just like, the woman that he's with now, her, Jasmine Brown, the comedian, how he was talking in that interview to me showed me exactly what he feels about that woman, unfortunately. And you have to be content and understand and know that I'm probably not going to be the wife. And that's unfortunate. But it's the reality of when you don't set standards, that's the hand that you'll be dealt.
Clearly, Cam and Nick Cannon didn't take anything away from that interview, but guess who did? I did. And I'm almost positive the hundreds of thousands of people who saw those interviews also had some takeaways from it. Like, she spoke so much as far as facts, so much about how you can desire what other people have because it looks like it's more than what you currently have, but it really ain't. You need to want what's for you and not what someone else has. You need to desire what's made for you, because you could desire a 10,000 square foot home, 20,000 square foot home. And like she said, a mansion, that don't mean nothing. A lot of them celebrity homes are more homeless than a person on the street. No love, cold walls, no love in it whatsoever. Like, this woman needs to be like, I've been to a lot of therapists and I feel like they just do it because that's their job. But she really knows what she's talking about and how to deliver it. So they didn't have to take nothing away from the interview. They didn't have to take anything away from what she said to them. Of course, because they're in defense mode. You know what I'm saying? But I tell you, she touched a lot of lives with them interviews. She touched a lot of lives. Whether you're single, in a relationship, in a marriage, it don't matter. Like, that woman, she spoke the gospel, period. Point blank, period.
So in my mind, if I'm a viewer and I'm like, okay, Cam has a lot of kids, where's the ring? Like, why didn't you marry her? Like, I'm confused why, because as a baby mama myself, let me just put myself in that shoes. It's like, why would you give me a forever commitment, which is a child, versus like, where's my ring?
That person that I was while we were having children together, I couldn't be the best husband. I wasn't prepared to be a husband then.
Okay.
And the hourglass was shrinking for her. And I pride myself on doing this. When me and her was together, Kia, that is, we were both young. And she was around me through a lot of success, a lot of downfalls, and I respect her for that to this day. But it never led to the ultimate commitment, and that's a ring. And to me, it's not even an apology that's needed. It's just like we just grew apart, right? And we have a great working relationship now where we have beautiful children and we're seeing them grow day in and day out. She does a great job with them and her supporting cast. And it's just like now, here I am, I'm trying to still get my feet to finding that perfect person that can come into my life to accept me, just like she's, wants somebody to accept her, and obviously my other baby mama to somebody to accept her, and knowing that the pressure for me is easy, right? I'm the beneficiary to, this is what I got.
So if y'all don't know, I'm the third one, and this is his sixth child. Someone said, ooh. Right, couldn't have been me. All right, till the rich put that pressure on you. I could never be with nobody. Okay. Until $100 million put the pressure on you, you don't know what the you'll be. Talking about what you'll never be. You ain't never had. Oh, you better than me? I am. What the hell? And it's so funny because he was clapping back at a couple of people. He was clapping back at a couple of people in the comments too, which was great. I was like, yeah, man, get him. Can't nobody read your font, but.
Okay, there's a lot to cover, so let's talk about it. I'm gonna try to sum it up, okay, and not make this long. So first thing first, I want to give props out to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. This is the first time I actually ran across her when this video went viral, and she is very beautifully made, not only externally, but internally as well. Like, I love how she speaks with a purpose. She's very direct. I like how she don't let him like deflect or spin the narrative. Like, she even stroked his ego a little bit using her femininity, but got right back on topic and target. And I feel like men like him, Nick Cannon, because she has a Nick Cannon interview out there too that y'all should definitely check out. But I feel like men like them need to hear stuff like this because I feel like they are really in denial of some of the problematic patterns that they have in relation to like women. They're creating broken homes, etc. So shout out to her for this. I am definitely looking forward to any future content that she puts out there. So that was definitely dope. I noticed that like she was trying to explain to him how he created broken homes, and he was trying to really deflect. He kept trying to spin that conversation a little bit, but no, sir. No, sir. Like, she was making him stick to that specific topic. He said that, what she's saying is not accurate. He kept trying to interrupt her, saying like, no, that doesn't apply to me though. That doesn't apply to me though. Like, my children live with me. And she's like, okay, it's still a broken home because the women do not live with you. This is not a poly situation. So it's still a broken home. And it seems like he still did not understand that, but he was on quiet mode when she was saying that, because deep down inside, he know it's true. He can try to play dumb, but I know that he wrong for that. And he don't like that she calling him out on that, because guess what that's making him do? Spiritually, it's making him face his demons, face his fears, and he needs to do some internal work, some shadow work. And he don't like that. He don't like that at all. So regardless, that is still a broken home. I have to agree with the male commentary when he said that there are things your money and resources can't fix within a child. And I believe that Cam Newton and Nick Cannon, men like this, believe like, oh, well, I got all this money and, like my baby mamas are all taken care of and, my kids can get whatever they want, etc. Right? However, what Dr. Bryant was trying to point out is that this does not mean that emotionally they are not going to lack somewhere. Money does not buy happiness. I know that's cliche, but seriously, it does not buy happiness. And I don't know if some of y'all saw my previous videos, but I have a whole fatherless daughter series. And even on my previous video of Brianna LaTruth, we spoke about the importance of what role the father and the mother plays within a household. So first we'll speak about the daughter. When you have a daughter, it is crucial for her to see how her father treats her mother, how he treats her. This is the first and only man that's going to naturally come in her life and don't want nothing from her. He's supposed to naturally just want the best from her because he's not saying things or doing things to get something from her. So this is the person who comes in, he shows her what it's like to be provided for. He shows her what it's like to be protected. He's supposed to put her onto game like of this is the kind of man you should stay away from. This is the kind of red flags you should look at. He's supposed to show her what healthy love looks like and what she should be looking for when it comes to a husband. That is the role of the father when it comes to the daughter. That way she's not easily influenced by any male that comes to her flaunting money or whatever. That way she's not easily influenced. Now, when it comes to the mother in her life, her mother is supposed to show her the essence of a woman, supposed to show her femininity, supposed to show her what the role is to be a wife, what the role is to be a mother. If she is a working mom, what the role is like to balance everything out. You are the spiritual counterpart of your household. This is what a praying woman looks like. Like that's the job of the mother, to show her role of what is she supposed to be like as a wife, as a mother, as a woman. This is your job. Okay. So that's what she's supposed to show her. When it comes to the son, the father is supposed to show him what it is like to be a man. He is supposed to show him this is how you provide for your family. This is how you protect your family. He's supposed to influence him and encourage him to steer away from bad decisions and encourage him to make better decisions, make decisions that's not going to impact or put your family in any type of harm's way, etc. Unfortunately, our community has a high risk of our young men going to the streets, gang related, etc. He's supposed to come in and show him like, no, you ain't got to do this. This is the right way, because a lot of boys need mentors. And I even spoke to a guy from the Boys and Girls Club in my city, and he said that straight up. He said girls need counseling, boys need mentors, because you can talk to a boy all day long. A lot of times he's not going to listen. He's going to just operate and adjust to what's around him. So a lot of times they be wanting to find those male counterparts and figures to be around. And if they find the wrong crowd, they naturally adapt to that because they're like, okay, they sound like me, they look like me. This is what masculinity looks like. Because he don't have that father in the household. We don't have enough fathers in the household to show him what he's supposed to be. The healthy way of doing things. You don't have to do it this way. That's what his job is supposed to be. And the mother in his life is supposed to show him what it's like to be provided for, nurtured for, that emotional, spiritual counterpart for her son. That's what he's supposed to look for when it comes to the mother of his children, the wife in the household. That's how he knows what to look for. That's why a lot of men have mommy issues, because they didn't have a proper functioning mother to teach them what they needed to know. So a lot of times they grow up hating women and just all kind of stuff because they didn't have what they needed. So both are just as important in that household. When you create a child, biologically, that DNA from the masculinity and the femininity created that child. There's a big spiritual counterpart there and a big mentally emotional counterpart there. Naturally, that child is going to crave the other half of them if they're only seeing one half of them. That's their body. That's their blood. running through their veins. It's natural for them to feel some type of void of like, what's missing in my life? Oh, this other counterpart. Why am I only seeing one person and not the other person? Like, what's wrong with me? Is something wrong with me? Like, why don't he want to be in my life? Like, that kind of stuff is real. And again, I dive deep into this in my Fatherless Daughters playlist series. So if you are a fatherless daughter or you're raising a fatherless daughter, I break that down a lot and what can help and all of that. So definitely feel free to check that out if that's something you're interested in, or if you know that that could help somebody. But that's why it's so important to speak about these things, because we are creating toxic cycle after toxic cycle after toxic pattern after toxic pattern. And don't think I'm saying this as a way to judge, because I'm not. Obviously, if I'm speaking on it and I'm passionate about it, it's because I've been through it. I'm a fatherless daughter, and unfortunately, I'm raising a fatherless daughter. So, daughters. So, unfortunately, it's just something that we went through, and I'm just making sure that going forward, I do better in the choices that I make. And I install this in my daughters early on. That counseling, they need to be in counseling early on. When it comes to this kind of stuff, oh, they seem fine. You don't know what they're really going through. A lot of times children aren't going to really show you what they're going through, but you're going to see a lot of it as they get older. It's going to start coming out subconsciously. And a lot of this is subconscious. They don't know what this void feeling is. And a lot of people feel it with unhealthy things. It might be promiscuity. It might be certain narcotics, etc. Like, they feel this void with certain things because they feel like they're missing. And a lot of times it goes back to the root of the child lacking in one of those parent emotional bonds. Okay. So again, this is very important that we speak about this kind of stuff, because we have to stop building this. Does not mean that your child is going to have a bad outcome. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a bad outcome. It just means that statistically, we have to be aware of the decisions and choices that we're making and how they're going to impact their children. And the biggest problem here is when she first brought it up, he automatically said like, oh, like, yeah, I want more children. He didn't say, oh, I want to get married, and oh, I want to build a family. I want to build a legacy. Like, he's literally talking about, oh, I want more children. Oh, however God gives them to me. It's nothing about marriage, nothing about a family, however God gives them to him, even with him being in a relationship now. That's crazy to me. Okay. Notice that he also said that he's doing the best with what was given to him. Sir, you are a grown man. You are in your mid-30s. I mean, I'm sorry, did I miss something? Were you taken advantage of sexually to where you were forced to have these children? Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, we all should be stepping up and doing the best with our situation. But that does not negate the bad choices and decisions that caused what was given to us. We have to learn accountability. And the fact that you're still saying basically that you're fine with creating broken homes, however God gives you these children, is beyond me. It is beyond me. And with him already being in his mid-30s, like, it's a small chance he might change. I heard that men hit their like mental what's the word I'm looking for? Like, they basically elevate mentally when they turn 40, and women when they turn 30. Now, him already being 35, I don't know, but, still a small chance that common sense might hit him on the head when he turns closer to 40. And I hope so. Let's pray that he does. Please stop doing this. Please stop creating this. Like, sir. And one thing I do love about this is that not only did women react to this, a lot of men reacted to this and said how disappointed they were. So I'm so glad men are actually having these discussions and speaking about it, hold each other accountable too. Because let me tell you something, if it was us women, y'all remember the whole Kevin Samuels era with like the single mama thing? Yeah. And the red pill content still bashes single mothers. So it's like, where's that same energy for the men like him, Nick Cannon, etc., who's creating all these broken homes? See, they be thinking, oh, well, it's better because he's the one providing for him. But you're not talking about the mental, emotional, spiritual effects that has on a child when he's not in the household. It doesn't matter what he can pay for. So it's like, where's that same energy? Because they criticize single mothers all day, but don't say nothing about men who do stuff like this. So I'm going to need y'all to keep that same energy. But again, the men who are stepping up and speaking on this, shout out to y'all. Because we know us women need to make better decisions as well. But still, shout out to y'all for doing that. Now, Jazzy, this is the girl who just was on the stand-up comedy skit before I start talking. Sweetheart, Now, this is his current girlfriend and his most recent baby mama. That stand-up comedy skit to me just made things look worse. Like, ma'am, you're basically saying that you're fine with being a baby mama as long as you can be bald. Now, I expect that from somebody who's a teenager in a whole city girl, hot girl era, you know, young 20s. I expect that, especially with the music going on nowadays. I expect that. But to be at your grown age of 35, which I was shocked about, I didn't even know she was 35, saying that is beyond me. That is beyond me. Like, so I guess money is more important than a proper foundation emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually for your child. Now, from my understanding, she's in a relationship with him currently, and he probably lives with you. Yeah. But if you really think that that situation cannot change, you're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. And when she said that, like, oh, I mean, you never know what she'll do. You said it'll never be me and never be me, but you don't know what you'll do when it's a millionaire applying pressure on you, $100 million contract applying pressure on you. Again, so you're basically saying that you can sell your soul and be bought to be a baby mama as long as he got some money. Sweetheart, that's not your money. It's still not your money. It's still his money. Yeah, you might collect child support, but that's it. And you think you're the only one? Like, maybe in our everyday life, in our everyday world, we're obviously not going to run into millionaires like that because we're regular people. I get that. I understand that. But look at your world. Look at all of the rich people around you, the celebrities, their children, their sisters, brothers, etc. Like, they run across the same people financially that you run across. That's normal to them. Doesn't mean that everybody will make those same decisions. For example, Aisha Curry. She married before she carried. You didn't see her just popping out babies. And let's just point out that her husband don't have outside kids and have a pattern of creating broken homes. We can even talk about the James family. Now, Savannah did have kids, from my understanding, before they got married. They had 2 children, but at least, he did not have outside children in a pattern showing that he creates broken homes. And now they're married. He at least gave her a ring. Like, you know, you popped out my 2 children. Let me give you a ring. Let me show this commitment to you. And now they have a whole legacy going. But you decided, oh, you know what? He got $100 million. Let me go ahead and pop out this baby for him. Ma'am, again, yeah, in our everyday world, we don't run across that. You're right. But I also don't mean that just because we don't run across it that we will fold. So, again, morals are important. And if you really are pressured and he really messed with you like that, then it shouldn't be a problem for him to put a ring on it before you pop out a baby. Hello, women are losing their lives every day, and you 35. You close to being high risk. If you get pregnant again, you are high risk. And what are you showing your daughter? Because she had a daughter, from my understanding. So what are you showing your daughter at this point? Like, you're showing your daughter that, you know, sweetheart, as long as he got some money, you can be a baby mama. That's fine, blah, blah, blah. And again, a baby mama is not guaranteed. You see that he clearly just said that however God brings him more children, he didn't even say with you. He didn't even bring your name up. He could have at least said something like, oh, you know, like I might have more children if I get married, you know, like me and my girl doing good right now. You know, we might get married. We spoke about it. He didn't even bring you up at all. So what does that tell you? So that's my take on it. Like, that's how I feel in regards to the situation. Like, you know, these are just discussions that need to be had. Obviously, again, it does not mean that everybody's going to have a bad outcome if you come from a single parent household. We are just speaking about the statistics, what they show, and hopefully can have better choices going forward. I also just want to put out there that Cam Newton is a Taurus. Okay, so if you know, you know. You know, Taurus males, like, baby, they, to me, weirdly have similar characteristics. Now, obviously, not every single Taurus is like this. But, baby, check his sun sign and check his Venus. If one of them says Taurus, baby, don't expect much different than Cam Newton. Because for some reason, it takes a lot of Taurus males years and years and years and years to make a commitment. They're extra cautious on that. But baby, when it comes to these babies, honey, they'll pop out these babies. They'll be on baby mama 2, 3, 4, like a lot of them. Like I said, not all of them, but it's like they are terrified of commitment. And the ones that they have like decided to commit to or like marry for the most part, it be after they didn't shoot, talked, dated, been their sneaky link for like 5, 6 years. So, you know, and then once you even in a relationship with them, it's going to take even years and years for them to marry. So a lot of them is like that. It's so funny and weird, but a lot of them do be like that. But anyways, that's just a little laughter. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next one.